Hello and welcome to another Newhotel webinar. Today's subject is tips for managing efficiently individual reservations. My name is Artur Carneiro, and in the next few minutes I will show you how several automatisms may increase your daily task speed, the search rate tool, plannings, reservations copy, room allocation, reservation comments, wake-up call functionality, guest profile, multiple changes on reservations, bookings manager, and some reservations reports. When we press the new reservation button, we can see that some fields are filled by default, like nationality, source, segment, type, the check-in and the checkout hour. This can be set under Administration, Settings and Template Reservation. Here we can set the default fields according with our hotel profile. For example, if most of our reservations are direct, we can choose here the type direct, and as soon as I create a reservation, the default type will be direct. We can do for room type. Imagine that our room type we sell most is double, so we can choose the double and make it by default. As soon as I create a new reservation, the double type will be added as default. We can do the same for number of packs, for the meal plan, the meal type, the country, the arrival and departure date, source, segment, and so on. We can also make some default fields for guests. If it's an adult, the gender, the title, the country, and so on. This allows us to save time because when we create a reservation, some of the fields will be filled with our most common information. For example, let's create a new reservation. Here on the front office, new reservation, and in this example, I'm just changing the check-in and checkout date like this. 3 nights. My most common room type is double. I leave it like this. Nationality, source and segment by default. The type, I just need to add a rate. I just need to add a guest. As we can see, the info, the gender is already filled. I just need to add a first and last name. And if I do OK, I've created my reservation in under a minute. Not only these automatisms help you save time when creating individual reservations, but prevent that wrong information will be added to the reservations. When we create a new reservation, we have the option to search all our rates available in the PMS. All the rates that we have created, we can find them here. This is quite useful because I just need to choose a rate, like this example, and it automatically gives the price to this reservation. But we have another option using our search rate tool that allows us, when creating reservations, to search several rates and see them with their prices. For example, let's suppose that a guest calls saying that he wants a reservation from the 24th until the 30th. 6 nights. The room type is a double and the meal plan is bed and breakfast. And we have 2 guests. I press on search and the PMS will show me all the rates I have available for that period of time with all the conditions I put above. And here I can see all the rates that matches the search and with the price per night on front. I can choose my rate that most suit the case. Let's say, for example, the drive test, for example. And if I click on the plus sign, I can see the price per night the total of the reservation. If I want to make a reservation directly from here, I just need to minimize and press the price here in blue, and the PMS will open a new reservation with all the criteria I put on the search: the check-in and check-out date, the room type, the meal plan, and the number of guests. And also here the rate. To finish this reservation, I just need to add a guest. Let's choose a guest from our Cardex. So let's click on the magnifying glass and choose a guest, an existing guest, and do OK. I do yes, and the reservation has been created. So we can use this search rate tool to search for all the rates we have and easily create a new reservation. In order to efficiently manage your reservations, we have a couple of plannings in the PMS that can help you. The first planning is, if I press here on room planning, is the visual planning, where we can see the reservations 3 weeks in the future and 1 week in the past. We also have here the information regarding the room type and the number of the room. This flag means that the room is clean because it's a green flag. This red flag means that the room is dirty. We also can see that when we have a dollar sign, means that they have values in the current account to settle. When there is an up arrow, that the reservation does check out today, and when it has a down arrow, means that the reservation does check in today. And here in orange, it means that this is the work date. Not only can you see the reservations, but you can perform several actions. For example, if I right-click on a reservation, like this, I have the option to edit the reservation, to copy, to do a checkout, to do the invoice, and so on. For example, on a reservation that does the checkout today, if I right-click, I have the option here to check out. And this value here is the amount due to settle on the current account. As you can see here, we have the dollar sign, and here we have the total amount. If I wish to invoice, I just need to press the invoice button. The same thing with the reservation that does check-in today. If I right-click, I have the option to check in. I just need to check if the information is correct and do the check-in. We can also create reservations here on the planning by right-click on the day I wish. Imagine I wish to create a reservation for the 21st here. On the room 24 here, I just need to right-click, click on single, and it creates a reservation and puts automatically the arrival and departure date, the room type, and the room number. I just need to fill the rest of the reservation with the price and the guest. We also have the option to do an out of order or an out of rental and create a reservation for owner. We can see by room type. If I choose a specific room type, it only shows me my doubles, for example, like this. By room block, by floor number, and by characteristics. This button here, Show Unassigned Rooms, will show me all the reservations that doesn't have a room assigned. If I search here, I can just see the reservations that have room assigned. If I press this button, it will show me all the reservations that doesn't have assigned rooms. This is where all the online reservations will be because when a reservation on an online channel is created, it doesn't have the room. It only has the room type. So all the reservations will be here, and then we can assign room by right-click, choose the option Assign Room, and the PMS will only show the rooms that are available for the duration of the reservation. I can just easily double-click on room number 2, and the reservation will disappear from here and will be here on the top, on room number 2. Another option to assign rooms is to drag and drop reservations here on the planning and assign it to the desired room, like this. I have here this reservation that is under a double. I just need to click and then drag it to the appropriate room, like this one. I leave it. It asks me if I'm sure. I say yes, and the room is assigned. We can also extend the duration of the reservation. It will automatically change the checkout date. We can also decrease the duration of the reservation or move to another room. These are the options to assign rooms we have here on the planning. We have the option to zoom in or to zoom out, and we have the option to hide checkout reservations, like this. It will not show the reservations from the past that already had done checkout. This is used for save time when loading the planning, because the less information we see here, the fastest will be loaded. This is your main planning, where you can manage the reservations. We have another planning that is the interactive panel that you can find if you click on this bottom half of the button and choose interactive panel, that allows to see the daily work. If the room planning is from 3 weeks in the future and 1 week in the past, the interactive panel is quite useful to daily tasks like check-in and check-out, and see the guests in us. Here we can do the same operations with a right click on the reservation. Here on the check-in we have available the check-in, to cancel, to do no show, to make the invoice, to make the key emission, to make the key pass, and so on. On the right side we have the option to do the checkout, invoice, and so on. And here on the middle column we can also see the reservation, invoice, and so on. So we have two very useful plannings: the room planning with an overview of the reservations, and the interactive panel with the daily operation. Another option to assign rooms is to use the room allocation. We can find it here on front office room allocation, and this option allows us to automatically assign rooms to multiple reservations at the same time. Let me show you how. First, I need to use the filters above to search for reservations that doesn't have assigned rooms. For example, here on room planning, we have all this group here that does check-in on the 31st, and I need to automatically assign the rooms to this reservation. So on the room allocation, let's choose the arrival date equal to the 31st and do filter. We have all the reservations. We can also use the filter to only choose that group. Here on the filter that says group, I click on the magnifying glass I have this group here. I double click, and when I filter, it shows me the exact same reservations. Then I will clear these assign clean rooms, because the PMS will look for the rooms that are clean today and not in the future. And I do assign rooms here at the bottom. And the PMS assign these rooms to that reservations automatically without my interaction. At the end, I just need to do confirm. It asks me if I would like to assign the rooms. I say yes, and the rooms were assigned. Let's see on the planning. The reservations are here below without rooms assigned, but if I refresh the planning using the filter, I see that the reservations were assigned with these rooms that were chosen by the PMS. This is very useful, especially for big groups, and we don't have time to assign one by one. Also, to save time, the PMS offers the possibility to create copies of reservations. Let's, for example, right-click on this one and add it to see this reservation. Let's remember the arrival and departure date, the room type, nationality, source, segment, the price, and the meal plan. Now, if I, for example, needed to have an exact copy of this reservation, imagine that it has 2 guests that is from a family and they need to have 2 reservations on 2 different rooms. Instead of right-click and create a new reservation or go through here, I can right-click the reservation, click on copy. The PMS asks me if I want to include guests and include credit cards. Most of the times we don't include anything. I just click on OK. And we have an exact copy of that reservation. The arrival and departure date, as you can see on the original one, it's the same. The room type, nationality, source, and segment, exactly the same. Type, meal plan, number of packs, the rate, it's everything the same as the original one. I just need to add a guest here and click on OK, and I have my reservation created. This is very useful when you have 2 or more reservations that are exactly the same and you just need to change the guest. You don't have to create a group reservation. You can make copies from the original one and then create as many reservations as you want. All that needs to be done is to assign the room that we found here on our planning on our unassigned rooms, and then assign to the room. Let's put it on the 24. And we have both reservations where the second one was created by copy. I can make as many copies as I want. All the reservations created on the PMS has the option to add comments. We have 2 specific boxes to insert comments. Let's open our room planning here and let's go, for example, on this reservation. Let's right-click and edit the reservation. We have below 2 boxes of comments that we can add to this and all the reservations. General comments for the reservation and specific for housekeeping. Here I can put relevant information that I wish to add to this reservation. For example, let's put a comment here, give VIP package on checkout. This will inform the front desk that when this reservation does a checkout, it's entitled to a VIP package. And we also have the housekeeping comments that we can put requests from the guests. For example, more pillows. These housekeeping comments will appear on the housekeeping reports, and these ones can only be read on the front office. If I do OK, I will save this comment on reservation. OK. Another feature of these comments is, if I do the checkout on this reservation, the comment will appear here on the top right corner, informing me that I need to give this VIP package to this guest. It will be visible for 10 seconds and then disappear, and also you have it here below on the checkout box. These comments ensure us that we don't forget important information or requests of the guests inside the reservations. One of the many features offered by the PMS is the possibility to create wake-up calls, so we can have the phone on the room ring at a specific hour. For this to work, we need to have an interface provided by Newhotel that allows us to create these wake-up calls and give this information to the PBX. To set up the wake-up call, we need to go to a reservation that hasn't been checked out. Let's choose a random one. For example, this one, it doesn't matter. We edit this reservation, and on the options on the left side we have Wake Up. We press it and we have these two boxes. The bottom one shows the stay details, the check-in and check-out date, and the top one allows us to create this wake-up call. To do that, we need to click on Insert, choose a date. I will choose the 20th. The hour we wish to make this wake-up call, the type we cannot change, and the extension is the room number. So we have here room number 8. Let's double click and do OK. When we save this reservation, this wake-up call will be programmed to make the phone ring at this time. Remember that for this to work, your PBS needs to have this feature, and we need to have the interface between your PBX and the PMS. As soon as we create a reservation, the PMS stores the guest information under our Cardex. This will allow us to see all our clients and edit the information, like address, contacts, store document information, add some notes. We can also mark as a blacklisted customer that when you do a reservation with this guest, a pop-up will appear warning that this is a blacklisted guest. We can set up a current account and limit credit or unlimit. For example, I can say that for extras, the credit is not unlimited, and we can set a value. And if this guest, for example, tries to charge to the room more than 100, it will prevent that from happening. We can also set attentions and preferences. Attentions are pre-made packages, like the VIP, for example. And preferences are things that the guest wants in the room. Also, we have the statistics. Here, all the information regarding with this guest is stored, like the number of stays, the number of nights, the average of the length stay in value, this is 65, the daily rate revenue, the total revenue, and other information. With this information, then you can adjust your offers to each guest. On the front office, we have Bookings Manager. This is one of the most powerful tools in the PMS. We can search for all reservations here using these filters. Below we have the results. By default, this filter shows reservations that arrive between these two dates. And on the left side, if we choose one reservation, we have all the operations that we can do regarding reservations on the PMS. We can make a new reservation, a new group reservation. We can do a copy of this reservation as I showed you previously. We can edit. We can make multiple changes on several reservations at the same time. Add guests, like this. Instead of editing the reservation and insert a guest, I can do it by here, just by pressing the plus sign, and add another guest. We can do check-in, we can do check-out, we can cancel, overbooking, we can do the invoicing, we can update prices. Here we can update massively prices on reservations. Suppose that you have a group and by mistake you have the prices wrong on the rate. Let's search for that group using the price rate. I will put the arrival bigger than today and search for the specific price rate. Let's use this one. And let's filter. The PMS show me that we have these reservations with this price rate. And now you need to update the price on all reservations. If I change on the rate, it will not be updated on the reservations because all reservations maintain the original price. So we need to massively change the price. To do that, I need to choose all these reservations, and after I updated the prices on the rate, I just needed to update prices. We have a warning saying the prices will be updated on 9 reservations. If I'm sure, I say yes, and all the changes will be added to these 9 reservations. The same thing could happen with changes on the tax rate or other changes to the price that you need to update. We can use upsell, insert upsell services that we have already created. We can send the notifications, do the key pass or registration card. The data from the reservation will be printed here on this registration card. We can also export the key pass or registration card for, imagine that I'm preparing my tomorrow check-ins. If I do the export key pass and I say that the arrival will be on the 20th, it will create the registration cards for all reservations that arrive on the 20th of May. This allows me to save time because all the registration cards will be printed and you just need to add them to the guests as soon as they arrive. Set up a wake-up call, I already show you. Export. This allows me to create a template for rooming list that you can then import in group reservations, for example. You can confirm or put on waitlist. You can close, open, lock, view current accounts. You can undo certain procedures. Imagine that you do a check-in and you got it wrong, and you can undo that check-in or that cancellation. And finally, you can make the key to the room, the key card to the room, if you have the interface configured. Not only can you use Bookings Manager to manage your reservations, this tool allows you to create your own reports. When you first open Bookings Manager, we have the default filter that is arrival between these two dates. And if I print, I have the option to show housekeeping comments, show the general comments and show guests. I will choose all 3. I will print and I have my first report, like this. This is my first report. with all the reservations that arrive between the 18th and the 28th. We have more pages, and we have the total at the bottom. I can create more complex filters. Let's say, for example, I want to see all the reservations that will arrive from today that belongs to a specific company, for example. And it shows me all the results. I can put other things like the rate, and it will search for reservations with a specific rate. Allows me to search for groups, group reservation, country, source, segment, status, by first or last name of the guests, by all reservations that has 2 adults, with a specific meal plan, booking channel, and a lot more. You can combine all of these filters to create a reservation report. At the end, when you're satisfied with the choices you've made, you can print, and with the options to show or not the comments, and we have our report created. Note that all reports done on the PMS, we have the possibility to export to PDF, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, as an RTF or CSV, or even an XML. If you like to work with Excel, I can export to Excel, click on Export, I'll say to Open, and here we have that report, but in an Excel format, and then you can work these values as you wish. All reports on the PMS have the option to export. To conclude, the Bookings Manager allows you to manage your reservations with all the options on the left side, search for all reservations already done on the PMS using the filters on top, and then print as a report your search. This is a very powerful tool, as I said in the beginning, because we have all the options here on one screen. Included on the PMS, we have a lot of reports here under Reports that you can use to manage your reservations. They are sorted by type, like for example manager, occupancy, market, sales, and so on. And if I click on manager, for example, I have all the reports that belongs to this type, occupancy, market, etc. Let's go to occupancy reports. Here you can see all the reports regarding occupancy. For example, we have room income, we have daily occupancy, we have housekeeping daily, and if you want to open a report, you just need to double click and it will print the report for today. This is the housekeeping daily with the comments inside, and this is for today. All the reports that has this printer with the question mark means that there are more options available. For this case, I have room block, floor number, room type, room status, and so on. For room income, for example, we have other options like the month and the year. Let's print it just to see it, and it shows me the income per room. All of these reports, of course, we can export them. Guest departure or guest arrival reports, pending accounts, and a lot more. You are free to explore all the reports on the PMS, and if you wish to print them, you just need to double click, and all reports are printed on screen before they are sent to the printer. If you like one report, you can click on this star icon and they will be stored here on this folder that is called favorites. If you open, you will see your favorite reports here. Let's just add a few more, like this one, for example, and this one. And if I go to my favorites folder, we can see our 3 reports that I've chosen. This was a brief overview of the possibilities of managing individual reservations. I hope you like this webinar, and if you have any questions or suggestions for future webinars, please send us an email to academy@newhotel.com. Hope to see you soon, and until next time.